Throughout my entire short career, I have been named many things. Femboy, degenerate, gooner, massive gooner. Sometimes they call me nice things, other times they call me by slurs. But the one thing you can't call me is basic. And I feel like nowadays that is starting to become the norm within the modern community. It could be the littlest things like claiming yourself to be an anime expert when you've only watched JJK and other super popular shows, or someone who acts like a hentai PhD graduate when they've only read My Landlady Nuna or something. But I think the most prominent and surefire way to find out their base is when the conversation goes like, hey, so who's your favorite waifu? It would probably be Rem from Re:Zero. Oh, okay, that's cool. I mean, who doesn't like Rem, right? But who would be your second? See, I'm gonna have to say 02 on that one. And if I were to be daring, I'd go with Wagari. Right. Or maybe even Tenka from Chain Soldier. Jesus Christ. Nah, he's not in my top 5, but speaking of 5s, my favorite quintuplet would probably be Miku. Damn boy, are you Starbucks because you are basic as shit! And listen, I have no particular problem with these girls. They're valid. I just feel like these are all characters that are so obviously designed to appeal to the masses. These aren't personally interesting to me because they were made to be the fan favorites. They feel manufactured, simply created to win the affections of everyone and the readers. Which is fine in itself. I mean, I find Marin to be an extremely fun character to follow, but if all of your favorites are girls made to be liked by everyone, don't be surprised if people think you have no personality. For example, if your favorite is Yandere, you like girls who unconditionally love you. If your favorite is a tsundere, you probably have a complicated childhood. If your favorite is a tomboy, you like guys with tits. Or take me, for example. A lot of my favorites are older women that are strong, has a gentle side, but can absolutely kill me. By knowing them, you can probably come to the conclusion that I want to be stepped on. But what if you like a girl who is unlike most others? What if your favorite is a character who is simply made to just fail at everything? Not in cute ways like Kobeni or whatever. I mean girls who simply suck at being in a rom-com. While being in a rom-com, even though she is trying to win said rom-com. Well then, why don't we find out by talking about... The premise is pretty simple. It follows the story of our main character Albert as he tries his best to support the heroine Alberta. Help her with what, you might ask? Well, TLDR, he's trying to get her some dick in her life. You see, Albert found himself to be stuck living in a rom-com world. Not in an isekai manner or anything, he simply realized that he is inside of a manga. He discovered this when he saw a guy named Alberto quote-unquote accidentally groping a girl named Alberti's booty cheeks. On top of that, he found himself to be in another rom-com cliche where they go, we are in the same class? Also, we live together? Nani? On top of that, Alberto slipped, fell, and groped Alberti again. And this time, it's in her Albertitties. Bonk! Ugh! Kono yaro! Baka baka baka! God, what is wrong with that girl? I hate tsunderes. I prefer kind and cutie patootie girlies who can heal up my soul. Ano? Kimi... Daijoubu? Oh, Alberta. Yeah, I'm good. Oh, okay. Bye-bye. Good lord, this is Nisekoi all over again. And that's where Albert comes in. Yo, what the ever-living fuck was that? What? Are you seriously asking me that? That was one of the worst performances I have ever seen in my life. Who are you? Never mind me, we need to talk about you, girl. You have the advantage of being his childhood friend, and instead of using your childhood memories with him, you just sit back and let them have their lovey-dovey moments in class? Okay, no, seriously, how do you know so much about me? Listen, buddy, I've heard this song before. The childhood friends always lose to the tsundere. Do you want that for yourself? No. Are you sure? Cause it's looking like you want to be in the second season of Makeine right now. No! Anything but that! What the hell are you waiting for? Go get your man, and for as long as I live, I will always do my best to support you! Nande, why are you doing this to me? Because I love Rem. God damn it, you're basic too. So yeah, basically Albert decided to help out Alberta because he is like Peter Pan who sides with the underdogs and wants to see the losers come out on top for a change. I fuck with that, to be honest. So the story continues as Albert and Alberta go on their journey to steal Alberto's heart from Alberti. Albert lays out his extensive knowledge of rom-com tropes and how to handle them, while Alberta keeps fumbling his advices, either from Alberti coming in to ruin the plot or by Alberta just being too damn stupid. But wait, there is a twist, because along the way, Alberta instead starts seeing the good side of Albert, which leads to her starting to have a little bit of a crush on him. Ooh. Omoshiroi. So, will Albert succeed in guiding Alberta towards success in love? Does Alberta even know her success in love and who she actually likes? Or is this all just going to be a cuckfest full of NCR situations where everybody just gets stolen away? Yeah, actually. But in a way that you could never think of in your wildest dreams. This section is going to cover on a lot of spoilers to the manga. I won't go into too much detail, but I will be revealing major plot points, albeit being as loosey-goosey as I can. So if you are the type to want to surprise yourself, I suggest clicking off this video or skip to this timestamp. If you are the type of guy who doesn't mind spoilers, as long as you can still enjoy reading the journey to get to that spoiler point, then I assure you, you're gonna have a good time. Let's start with how Albert accidentally rizzed Alberta. He does this by simply being that much of a Chad, but along the way, he also ends up making Alberti blush every now and then too. Now I'ma just say that I did not expect this. I thought the focus of this manga was for the losing heroine, aka Alberta, to find solace in getting rejected by the original main character and end up getting her own happy ending by being with our main character. But as situations go, and Albert needed to help Alberti to help Alberta get more screen time with Alberto, it ended up coming off as him being nice to Alberti, which led to her getting some hearts for him. Now you're thinking, damn, poor Alberto, huh? Not only does his childhood friend slash side piece ends up liking someone else, but now his main love interest is falling for the same dude too? Bro literally got his harem snatched away. You can't have shit in Tokyo. Well, whoever says that, you won't really need to feel guilty because Alberto ends up falling in love with Albert too. Okay, I did not expect this. What in tarnation damnation is all this? I came in expecting to see another hetero ship and got starstruck by the gay. I read this to see the birds and the bees but got blindsided by the sword fight. I went looking for copper and found myself some gold. On one hand, I give credit to Albert for being a Chad that is unisexual. In case you don't know, it's a term for people so hot that you attract people of every gender and sexuality. But at the same time, you can blame this entire love story to Alberta's incompetence. I know I said no spoilers, but I really gotta bring this up to really point home to how shit this girl is. So by this point in the manga, Albert and Alberta has been constantly hanging out enough for other people to notice, including Alberto. So he goes and asks, yo, so what you guys talking about?
Why the sudden question?
Well, you are my side hoe.
What?
I mean, you are my childhood friend, so I'm just curious, that's all.
Well, we talk about you.
Oh? Why is that?
That is because Skida!
You mean he likes me? This is one of those misunderstandings that usually make my head hurt, but low-key, I don't even blame the dude at this point. Because right after this, she has the opportunity to just correct them, but simply doesn't. Imagine sucking so bad that you turn your horror main character into a homosexual. And here's something even better. Alberta's bottled up feelings start overflowing, and it eventually led to her actually confessing to Albert. Well, kinda. Basically, she told him that she can't stop thinking about him, and Albert soft rejects her by saying that what she is feeling is not love. I know, no spoilers, but just hear me out for a little bit. But Alberta is like,
but then, why do I not only feel flustered thinking of Alberto, but to Albert too now? And why do I feel frustrated whenever I see Albert and Alberti romantically interacting with each other? You can't tell me that isn't love, right?
That is until her thoughts are interrupted as one of the classic lucky pervert tropes ensued, and because Alberti isn't here since Albert took over her job, he ended up being the victim of the cliche. Now this isn't really hot in hindsight, but Alberta would like to digress profusely. Instead of fighting for her feelings a little more, she came to the conclusion that she is just a massive fujoshi who wants to see some ukeseme action. Holy shit, this girl is top 3 idiotic heroines of all time, and she is not 3 or 2. But I can't even blame the girl, because this gay ship is honestly my favorite part of the series. And the only reason this isn't working out is because Alberto already has someone he likes. That someone being his childhood friend, who is not Alberta, but looks exactly like Alberta, except acts completely different to how she usually does. Huh, I wonder who he is, and then we get the reveal that that girl is actually not Alberta, but actually Alberto, her twin brother, who cross-dresses as Alberta because he is obsessed with his sister. Yeah. Sure. Wait. You're blushing over Albert too? You know, I started this manga with the intention of talking about Alberta and how much of a loser she is, but along the way, I got lost in tracks and ended up talking about this Albert's sexualception. I can't help it, okay? This manga ended up being a really enjoyable manga I heavily fuck with. It just brings out such crackhead energy, and the absurdity is one of the main reasons I come back every chapter to see what new shit is about to unfold. The first chapter is the one that introduced the idea of Alberta falling in love with Albert, the second chapter showed Alberti liking him too, and the chapter after that, Alberto starts getting conscious of Albert, follow along with them holding hands in chapter 4, and skip to another few chapters, and bro is now straight up head over heels. It really reminds me of the fun I had reading I Can't Choose a Childhood Friend and watching the first season of 100 Girlfriends. So if you like anything remotely close to these shows, then I highly recommend this series. It is fun, it is sweet, there are moments where I can have some mellow feelings in the air, but it still stays consistent with its tone and stays being a jolly good time. Personally, one of my favorite mangas to read, so I am going to give I Want the Losing Heroine to Win a very good score of 8 out of 10. Ni hao fine shites. I have a feeling this video is probably gonna come out later than when I usually post, and honestly that's probably gonna be a trend for next month or so. I've mentioned this on stream, but it is because I am currently on China to see my sister graduate. Woohoo! Which, by the way, I even got a special guest feature on screen. I am fucking famous! And since I am not moving my entire PC yet, I am currently stuck with this piece of shit again, who crashes every 30 minutes, so editing these videos always gets so frustrating to the point that I want to pull out my entire skull and feed it to the wolves. But for better or for worse, this will only ensue for the next month and a half or so. After that, we should be back to our daily program schedule. Anyway, I'm still active on Kiwa channel, no live streams, but I am uploading highlights right now, so go and check that out. The Patreon has uncensored versions of my videos and also my old deleted videos, so do go visit if you missed those. I have 2 Instagram accounts as well, one for posting shorts and one where I just do whatever. And finally, the Twitter. I mean, if you still want to follow it, then be my guest, but I'm gonna say that I don't really use that cesspool. I'd still appreciate the follow though. Anyways, I don't got anything to say. Have a good day. Bye.